Hi there guys, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Welcome to today's video. Hope you're all keeping well. Following on from yesterday's video that I did about the Premier League end of season awards, I thought it'd be good to do a Tottenham one today. Obviously, I don't know if a lot of you know, but I'm a Tottenham fan, have been all my life. So I thought today would be a good time to review the season that's just gone. To give out some awards and give my opinion on what's happened. It's been a pretty interesting year for Spurs, really, hasn't it? By interesting, I mean a bit of a disastrous year. I mean, it ended out really well with qualifying for the Europa League. I know that a lot of people aren't a massive fan of the Europa League, but with Jose Mourinho's track record in Europe, I think that we've got a very good chance of winning it next season. Obviously, going back to the beginning of the season, coming off the back of that Champions League defeat with Maurizio Pochettino still in charge. He was making noises all throughout last season that this was almost the end of an era in regards to the squad and the project that he had put together there, and he was dropping massive hints regarding a rebuild that was needed and moving players on and stuff like that. I think the Champions League, for a number of reasons, was massive in both regards to Pochettino's career at Spurs and a lot of the players' careers at Spurs. I think that a lot of them invested so much time and effort into, winning trophies under Pochettino. I think that moment, that Champions League final, was so important because it would have reaffirmed the feeling that what Poch was doing was the right thing, and it was starting to bear fruit in regards to trophies. Regards to Kane's career, Son's career, and stuff like that. They're world-class players and they need to be winning trophies. And I think that not winning that final was absolutely massive. And I think it's a real shame because should Poch have walked after that final, regardless of whether he won or lost it? There's an argument to be made for both of it, and I think the board should have backed him a lot more than they did. I know that they bought in Ndombele for 73 million, I think it was, which looking back at it now is an absolute disaster, really, isn't it? It's one of the worst signings in Premier League history. I think you could argue. Neither Poch nor Jose could get a tune out of him. Is it his attitude? I don't know, but. Yeah, I think that the warning signs were there moving into the new season, and as the season went on, you could just see that things weren't right from very, very early. There was a few early results where you could just tell the players weren't up for it, and Poch was going to have a real job on his hands. That moves on to my first award, which was a moment of the season. It's not really an award; it's more of a turning point, isn't it? The moment of the season, but. This moment of the season wasn't actually, it's a memorable one, but for bad circumstances. I've chosen the 7-2 home defeat to Bayern Munich in the Champions League group stages as my moment of the season. I think that defeat, not just a defeat, because obviously Bayern Munich are an amazing football team and I think they're probably going to win the Champions League this season once it restarts, but the way in which we capitulated in that second half was indicative of a team who didn't have any fight in them, had given up, and weren't playing for the manager anymore. And I remember watching it with my dad. I go around my parents' house and I go around my dad's house to watch quite a lot of the games, well, basically all the Spurs games, really. And when the seventh goal went in, I just said, they're not playing for him anymore, he's done. And I don't think there was a lot that Poch could have done about that defeat because the players just down tools. I think when Gnabry put them 4-2 up, I think it was, you could see that the players' heads just dropped. Lloris in goal, his head dropped and stuff like that, and it just went from worse to worse. And when that seventh goal went in, I really did fear for Poch, and obviously the knock-on effect that had in the league and stuff like that. It just got worse and worse, and I think that was the turning point. There was no return after that defeat in the way that the players capitulated in down tools and stuff like that. And I think it was a really important moment in recent Tottenham history, that defeat. So yeah, I've gone for that. Obviously, like moving throughout the season, it was clear that we weren't going to make top four. We weren't good enough. The players didn't want to know, really. The players had stopped playing for Poch, and that's when Levy made arguably the biggest decision of his what would you call it, era as as chairman of Tottenham Hotspur. Was it the right decision to sack Pochettino? I'm still not 100% sure about it, to be honest with you. You know, I, as well as thousands of other fans around the world, absolutely love Poch and the job that he done at Spurs. I think he was brilliant. He transformed us into a top 4 team. Under him we played some of the best football I've ever seen as a Tottenham fan. But it did go stale, and I don't know if it was the players who forced him out or whether he just lost that spark and he didn't want to be there anymore. Ultimately time will tell if it was the right decision. Bringing in Mourinho on £15 million a year is an enormous thing to do. It's a massive, massive gamble when you consider how it ended up with Man United. Ollie's just about picked up the pieces there at Man United following, I remember the last few games of Mourinho's career at Man United, and it was an absolute disaster. None of the players wanted to play for him. They were all slagging each other off in training and behind closed doors, and he was at war with Woodward and the board, wasn't he? And it was just absolutely terrible. I think they lost away to Man United, to Liverpool, I think it was, and it was just an absolute car crash, of a club from top to bottom under Mourinho. So yeah, you've just got to hope that. At the end of the day, he's been brought in for one reason: short-term success, win trophies with the squad that is there at the moment. If you're going to get a guy in to win, for immediate success, there's no better manager in the world for it than Jose Mourinho. Because even at Man United, I know it went poorly, but he finished runners-up with Phil Jones and Chris Smalling and Ashley Young and all players like that who weren't title challengers. He did do a good job there, and he won the Europa League, and I think it was League Cup as well, didn't he? So he wins trophies wherever he goes at the end of the day, and I just hope he can do it at Spurs, because I was saying to one of my friends, I'm not expecting youngsters to come through anymore like Poch used to do. I'm just expecting him to bring in ready-made challengers, title winners, trophy winners. And we have 3 years of perhaps a couple of FA Cups or Europa League or something like that, just to get that winning mentality instilled in the club. So yeah, obviously when Jose come in, it was a bit of a difficult one. We got knocked out of the FA Cup to Norwich, which was very, very disappointing, because I thought we might have had a little short-term boost with Jose coming in and we might have been able to win that possibly. But yeah, it's very, very difficult to judge Jose on this season. I think he did really well to finish top 6 in the end. Obviously with lockdown happening and then, all the players coming back, he managed to get a tune out of Harry Kane in the end, didn't he? I think he got 5 goals in his last 3 games to get us into that top 6, Kane. So, you can't argue with the guy's record. He does get points, Mourinho. I think we've only lost 1 in 9 at the end of the season. So there is definitely positive things to build on. So yeah, we'll just have to see how it goes. The football hasn't been great, to be honest. Obviously, I made the video a couple of weeks ago about the game away to Bournemouth. The 0-0 in which we didn't register a shot on target. I was fuming after that game. I just couldn't see where we were going to, go from there in regards to picking up points and picking up results and stuff. But thankfully, we managed to do it, and I think top 6 in the end is a very good achievement, and we've got a real chance of winning the Europa League next season if he stays, if he gets backed properly. Whether he will get backed is another, is a real hot topic at the moment. Obviously, with the virus sweeping around the world, and it's, brought a lot of football clubs to their knees. I think we should be all right in regards to income and revenue with sponsorship deals in the NFL and Nike and stuff like that, the sponsorships that we've already got. But, Mourinho, straight after the game on Sunday, the 1-1 draw against Palace, he come out and he said he's not going to be spending £100 million on a player, which, to be honest, I think most reasonable Spurs fans realise that we're not going to do anyway. But there is no doubt that we need strengthening. I've written down here, what players do we need? For me, an absolute must is a defensive midfielder. With this system that Mourinho plays and what Mourinho has become famous for, he has workhorses in that midfield. And as good as Sissoko is, getting up and down the pitch, with Harry Winks next to him, as good as Harry Winks is technically, he's not going to be putting in tackles and getting, a couple of red cards a season and disrupting the flow of matches and committing fouls and stuff like that. So, I think we definitely need a defensive midfielder as a priority. I fear we might go and get Fellaini from, I can't remember where he is. He's over in China, isn't he, at one of the Chinese Premier League clubs? But I fear we might get him. I think we might go and get Pierre Højbjerg at Southampton. Apparently, we've been linked with a 25 to 35 million pound bid for him. So, fingers crossed we can go and get him because he's a very good player. He's obviously very hard working defensive midfielder. Can get his foot in. Been at Bayern Munich as well, has won titles, so he's experienced. So hopefully we get someone like him. The other player that I'd like to, potentially go and get is another centre half. Obviously, with Yang going now, CP and Vertonghen, he's going to be missed greatly. I do think that we need another centre half in there because I don't think Eric Dyer is a central defender. To be honest, he doesn't seem to like Alderweireld, Mourinho. Which I was really surprised by because, obviously Toby signed that new deal, when was it, about 6 or 7 months ago now, he signed a new contract, didn't he, to keep him at the club, and I thought that's it, he'll be his captain. Obviously Mourinho loves a centre-half partnership, doesn't he, wherever he's gone, he's had one. But he just doesn't seem to fancy him. I'm not sure about Davinson Sanchez. I think he is one of them players where if he gets his head down and he studies, and he improves and he works hard, I think he can be a very, very good centre-half. He's quick and he's strong, but, I've not seen enough of him to suggest that he could be like, a title-challenging centre-half if that's Mourinho's final goal. So I think we could do with another centre-half. We've been linked with Ruben Diaz from Benfica, who, is apparently a young, very, very promising, very impressive centre-half in Portugal. So we'll see how it goes. And obviously the other challenging spot at the moment is full-back, left-back and right-back. I've written down one of our players of the season here as Aurier. I know people might laugh at that, but since, lockdown, I thought, since the Premier League has restarted, I think Aurier has been very, very impressive, to be honest. He's been at fault for a couple of goals, but I think defensively, Jose Mourinho is definitely improving him, but we can improve there. Aurier will be fine for now, but I don't think you can base a solid back four, back five on Aurier as right back. The other side left back, we've got Ben Davies there at the moment, haven't we? He's very, very good. I actually really like him as a left back. I think he's very hard working. He's good defensively. He can put a cross in. He's got a good shot on him as well. Obviously we've got Tanganga, who's just signed the new deal as well. I've got down here as my young player of the season. I mean, to be honest, there's not been many young players of the season for Spurs, has there? He's been the only real breakthrough, to be honest. But I think that he's been very impressive, and he can step in at left back or right back if needs be. But we do need to strengthen those positions. I know that I think Mourinho's been looking at Max Aarons at Norwich. Maybe he can come in. As for left back, obviously Ryan Sessegnon, Mourinho doesn't really look to want to be playing him or developing him very much. He might be being played as a left winger in the future, but we'll have to see about that one. But I think fullback is definitely a place that we can strengthen as well. So that's the season review. Let's see how it goes moving forward. Just one last thing, player of the season I put down as Giovanni Lo Celso. To be honest, there's not many players I would say have had great seasons. Obviously you've had Heung-min Son, who, his attitude is fantastic. He gets his head down and he does drag us through games. It's as simple as that due to his work rate. But I feel he has gone off the boil in in some games since, lockdown has come back and stuff like that. So, I've gone for Lo Celso simply because I think he's been a breath of fresh air in our midfield. He's given us energy, he's given us legs, he's got a touch of quality with his left foot and stuff like that. And I think moving forward, he's going to be a very, very important player for us. So, I put him down as our player of the season. But to be honest, most of the players have been disappointing in a Spurs shirt this year, and if we've got any hopes of top four next season, I think we're going to have to really go some, and Jose's going to have to pull out a couple of rabbits in the transfer market just to, for us to even challenge. Obviously, you've got Liverpool and City will probably pull away again. Chelsea are spending 80 million on attacking midfielders and have got Werner and Ziyech. Man United are probably going to go and get Sancho. You know, Wolves are very, very strong. Arsenal under Arteta look all right as well. Yeah, there are a lot of teams that are going to come back strong next season, you know, whether they strengthen or not. So, you know, this is going to be probably one of the biggest jobs in Jose Mourinho's career in regards to winning a trophy. Will we do it next season? Personally, I'm not entirely convinced we will. I think that there's a massive rebuild job that needs to happen at Spurs. You know, I think that, you know, Harry Kane is at that age and at that point in his career now where he might want to look at, you know, making a step where he's guaranteed trophies, you know, given his goals to games ratio and the performances he puts in for Spurs and how he's regarded at international level and stuff like that. He might see this as, you know, 27 years old now. He hasn't got much time left in regards to the peak of his career and winning trophies. So, yeah, let's see how it goes. You know, I think there's a massive rebuild job that Jose needs to do. I don't think Jose's the kind of manager who does rebuilds. I think he wins trophies and moves on. But let's see what happens. You know, I'd be really interested to know your thoughts this season, Spurs fans, on what you thought about what happened. You know, was Jose the right man to come in? Do you think we'll win trophies? Who was your player of the season? Obviously, let me know. Comments below. Subscribe to the channel. You know, I'm trying to build a little community here for the Spurs fans and football fans in general. So, I hope you enjoy all the content and stuff like that. I'm on Instagram. East Terrace Football is my name on Instagram, where I cover everything that's going on. There's loads of new kits that are coming out at the moment. And obviously on Twitter as well, at East Terrace 0 on there. So you can obviously follow me and talk to me and stuff like that. I'm always up for a chat with football with whoever. So, yeah, thanks a lot for watching, guys. You know, hope you enjoy the rest of your week. I'm going to do a Premier League team of the season towards the end of the week, so obviously stay tuned for that. And, yeah, hope you have a great week. Keep working hard, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Thanks very much. Bye.